All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I want to give honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Kodash. We say Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahushai, Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahushai, Barakat Yahweh, Barakat Yahushai, Bahashem Kodash. And we give up honor to our apostles and our elders, which are the apostle elders, a great millstone, which feed us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahushai. 2025, which is the hopeful year of our deliverance and the destruction and the judgment of Esau. Let's jump into it. This is the title of this lesson is going to be "The Lake of Fire of Babylon Will Burn for a Long Time," or Babylon U.S. will burn for a long time. The lake of fire will burn for a long period of time, something on those lines. Let's jump into this. This inspiration comes from a fire. I've heard about this before. I don't know if a brother did a video on this concerning this subject, but we have a lot of controversy with different groups claiming that there's a mystical place where the soul will burn forever, eternity, for breaking laws, but that that ain't adding up, okay? Because that's a fable, that's a made-up construct, that's something that's used as a fear factor, and then now it's being pushed, which is a dangerous thing. And we say this, and we said it a few times, is that the thing these guys are doing is exactly what Yahweh Shai was prophesying against and was on the scene to correct. You know, there was a lot of bullshit that was going on. That's why the Lord whipped the money changers in the temple, because they were just like if you defend your father, you know, if you're a son, a good son, you defend your father, you know, especially his name and his honor, because that's your name and honor. That's tied to that because you're his inheritor. So Yahweh Shai was on the scene. That's why it says the zeal of my father's house has eaten me up. Okay, so what do you think would happen now that he's sitting on the right hand of the Heavenly Father? Because these spirits that are here today are the same ones that he was with and dealing with in the past. That's why he said those false witnesses, those wicked Sadducees and Pharisees, they would see him come with the thousands of angels in heaven, and that didn't happen in the time of the Roman Empire occupation of Jerusalem. Okay, you have 68, 70 A.D., which the temple was sacked, so that didn't happen. So when was this speaking about? All right, that the time when Yahweh Shah prophesied that, it didn't take place because he went to the Heavenly Father and he went to sit on the right hand of the Heavenly Father. If you read Revelation, the 5th chapter, you'll see the ceremony. All right, the crowning, I call it the crowning ceremony. So let's jump into this lesson. This is so I typed in the longest burning fire in America, okay? Because this is going to give us a a timeline, or we can say a roundabout timeline of the intensity and how long that America will be on fire after this Third World War, this coming catastrophe, this skirmish that's going to take place with Babylon and parts of the known earth, all right? Because you're going to have NATO involved, you're going to have the BRICS nations, and then on top of that, you will have Yahweh Shai himself, which will be doing damage on the planet Earth, okay? Same thing with Sodom and Gomorrah. Who judged Sodom and Gomorrah was an angelical force, okay? And that was Yahweh Shai himself and the angels. That's why he told Lot, it says, flee and don't turn back. All right, the whole plane was about to be judged. So we seeing that that's going to happen today in modern day times. Okay, the chariots don't get old, and the fire that they dropped on Sodom and Gomorrah can be dropped again. It's going to be dropped again. History repeats itself. So let's go on. It says the longest burning fire in America is Centralia Mine Fire in Pennsylvania. Okay, check this out, which has been burning since 1962. 1962, and expected to continue for another 250 years. 250 years, man. Okay? 250 years in the future, they prophesied this thing, or they're putting a timeline on it. But that right there is going to add to the already, or to the new found ignition of Babylon being the lake of fire. Okay, so let's go into the details. Location: the fire is located beneath abandoned Borat in central Pennsylvania. Cause: the fire started in 1962 when a controlled burn of a garbage dump ignited a unsealed opening to an underground coal mine. So these are just big coal, just like when you light charcoal. When you light charcoal briquettes, it burns until it burns the charcoal out. So now you got to see that once the charcoal is lit, not just the bodies in Babylon, not just the gas stations in Babylon, not just the underground pipelines in Babylon that runs from Canada, all these issues with the tariffs, all these things that are going on. There's pipelines under here. There's natural gas. There's liquid gas. There's fracking going on. All these things are igniters, man. They're all ignitions for what. That's why when John prophesied, it says the burning, the smoke of a burning. The burning of Babylon is going to be immense. It's going to be on a scale and a level that ain't been seen on the planet Earth, man. When it says lake of fire, because you got to think the wood that's here, the different elements. You got chemicals that are radioactive chemicals going all the way just over here in St. Louis, Missouri. The waste from the Manhattan Project is still above ground. They had a situation where it was leaking. So you got plutonium rods, you got nuclear plants that are here. You have how many nuclear plants, how many dump sites, garbage sites, wood, stubble, all these things. Those are going to ignite Babylon and engulf it. That's why it says it's going to be a lake of fire. So it says the fire started in 1962 when a controlled burn of a garbage dump ignited an unsealed opening to an underground coal mine. The fire has been burning continually since May 1962. Hold on, let's see. Let's see if we can't do this. Let's pull up. Let's do this. I had this pulled up. Let's say 2025 minus 1962. 63 years. Jeez. So it's been burning for 63 years, and it said it's going to burn for another 250 years. But that's going to have company. Okay? Impact: the fire has caused the town to be mostly abandoned due to the instability of the ground and the release of toxic gases. So toxic gases are gonna. That's why it says no man shall dwell here, no man shall pitch tent here. You're gonna have an underground fire, above ground fire, side fire, up fire. You're gonna have fire here, man. It's gonna be burning. So now let's look at the video. This is fair use. It's for educational purposes only. I don't
In
know.
1962, a few residents of Centralia, Pennsylvania, harvested a fine crop of tomatoes. In December, the snow that winter all melted on the sidewalks. Why? Because a gigantic underground fire that is still burning 53 years later. First, some geology. Central Pennsylvania sits atop some of the largest coal deposits in the world, formed by millions of years of geological pressure.
Damn.
In the 1800s, miners began tunneling beneath the ground there to harvest it. By the mid-1900s, demand for coal dropped, and many of the Pennsylvania mines were abandoned. Back to 1962. No one quite knows how the Centralia fire started.
So let's do this. How many coal mines are in the U.S.? Jeez. As of 2023, the U.S. coal mining industry employed approximately 45,000 people. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Let's see. Oh no, let's go mines. Shit, in 2022, there were 991 active coal mines in the United States. Let's do this. Map. Images. These are the coal mines. So let's go to the picture. Look. Coal production, tons. Look, all of Babylon got coal mines on it. Pretty much all of Babylon. So if this Centralia fire was caught from a closed mine and is burning 50 years, 60 years later, what do you think is going to happen when every single one of these coal mines in Babylon is ignited from thermonuclear weapons, gas explosions, angelical fire coming down? This place gonna burn. This is one fire in Pennsylvania is still burning 50 years later, and it's underground. It's made a town unlivable. You can't live there. Toxic gases. What now? Try to fathom all square footage of America being ignited from a conflict of that magnitude. You can't even put it in. You can't really understand it. You can't understand it. Coal areas in the United States. So the central part is gonna be lit, man. The Most High set this place up, man. Now we can see that this place is set for burning. It's not. It's supposed to burn. The way these spots are positioned, they're set to burn, man. So this is the information that's coming out that's showing you that, hey, this is a dangerous place we're in, man. This is the lake of fire, because once these things are ignited and the fire that starts burning on top of the gas stations that are around the nuclear. Let's do this. Watch this. How many nuclear plants? Let's do this. Map. How many nuclear plants are in the United States? Map of nuclear power in the U.S. See where reactors are located. Look at that. Same concentrated areas, man. These are plutoniums. These are plutonium rods. Not just, and you got fuel rods. You got all the chemicals that it takes to manufacture these things and to refine it. All these things are here. On top of, we can go from coal to gas lines and so on and so on. All these things combined together is a powder keg of immense fire, possible fire. That's why the scriptures call it a lake of fire. Okay? The lake of fire is what we're looking at now. This is pre-lake fire. This is the lake of fire before it became the lake of fire. That's what it's talking about. That's why you won't, when Yahushua said that you won't be saved, is because you're going to be here, just like the apostle was going into. You're going to be in America. You're going to be chilling in America, doing your thing. And then you're going to be caught up in this destruction. And you're going to become a part of that lake of fire. You're going to be in it. And the bodies are going to be done, but Babylon itself, the landmass itself, will be ignited for a long period of time. And how do I prove that? Just this fire alone. See? And it says the Centralia mine fire is a coal steam fire that has been burning in the labyrinth of abandoned coal mines underneath the broad of central Pennsylvania, United States, since at least May 27, 1962. Its originally caused and started date are still a matter of debate. Burning in the depths of up to 300 feet over an 8-mile, that's only 8 miles, man, 3,700 acres. At its current rate, it could continue to burn for 250 years. And that's just one fire. That's one fire. That's one coal mine being ignited. What's going to happen when every single one in Babylon is ignited? It's going to burn. These are coal deposits, just like when you start a barbecue. When you start a barbecue with charcoal, that charcoal keeps the fire going as you cook. So those coals are going to keep Babylon burning and burning and burning, man, until the Lord sees fit to put it out. But it's going to be inhabited. You won't be able to be on the landmass because that Pennsylvania town alone is inhabitable because of the burning. So how, and all these other coal mines and deposits are going to be lit. They're going to be above ground fires. They're not going to be underground fires. And then when the above ground fires stop and smolder down, you're going to have the core of the earth, a core of the land mass of America burning. It's going to be one big charcoal briquette, man. It's fun. It's funny, but it's not funny because that's showing you why the Lord said this is going to be a lake of fire. It's going to be engulfed, man. But these guys aren't pushing that. They just, oh, it's a mystical place. This is real life. This is, you on it. You living on it. You are living above. You are living on the lake of fire before it's been lit. That's what you got to fear, because it's here. It's not something you got to look around and nobody's showing photos from hell. Esau has been digging into the ground and doing all types of seismic graphs and all these things. They just found those supposed tubes down in Egypt going under the pyramids. Okay, we don't know much about that. You know, we'll see what comes out of that. But the main point is they can see underground. You don't think they caught some photos of this hell place, man? Okay. And if hell goes, if earth goes, hell can go. But that's showing you that the minds or the breakdown of their doctrine is faulty. And we're telling those that will listen. This ain't for everybody. Everybody's not going to listen. Just like in the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, in the time of 70 AD, when the Yahushua warned them that they would come in like a flood. Okay, when you see them come in like a flood, flee. So some Israelites didn't hearken. They didn't think that Jerusalem was going to be taken like that. But Yahushua prophesied and told them, look, when you see these things come in, flee. Who you think is telling us now? He's saying get right, because Babylon is going to burn, man, through the spirit and power of Yahbashim Yahshai and his pastors according to his own heart. That shall feed you with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So that's what we're telling you, Jakes, man. Don't listen to these snake oil salesmen, man. Okay? Because we're not doing this for no money, no fame, credibility. We want to be saved. That's why it says go and give them warning from me. We're doing the stewardship that Yahweh Shem Yahushua has given to us to warn. Go into the vineyard and bring again the lost sheep to him, man. You bring out the truth and they listen to it, they hearken, and they change their ways, man. But if they don't, that's on them. So we don't, our job is easy. The yoke is easy because the Lord has those that he's going to wake up, period, anyway. So we technically ain't waking up anybody. We're just doing the work, and Yahweh Shem Yahushua makes it flourish, man. Okay? That's the mentality we have now. We're not here to try to fandangle people into believing it, because the Lord is going to give that inspiration. All right? So I had to bring that quick thing out. Let's get some precepts. We ain't going to make this long. This is the book of Revelation 18 and verse 18. And it says, let's read in the NLT. They will cry out as they watch the smoke ascending and will say, where is there another city as great as this? And it's talking about America. Not talking about one city. It's talking about America, a landmass, a continent. Okay? That's what it's speaking about. Let's do this. Let's do this. Lake of fire. It's Revelations 20 and verse 14. Let's start at 10. Then the devil who had deceived them was thrown into the fiery lake of burning sulfur, and that's we use Esau. Because who is the deceiver these days? Who's deceiving the planet Earth? Who has hid our history? Who has set himself up as the angels, as the Most High? Who has put himself up in the seat of rulership? Who has hid all the history, lied to people? It's one man. It's not talking about a spiritual demon. Okay? The devil, which deceiver, Diablos, who had deceived them, was thrown into the fiery lake of burning sulfur, joining the beast and the false prophet. They will be tormented day and night forever and ever, a long period of time. Okay? Because the same thing, Sodom and Gomorrah was burning all forever, but it wasn't burning. It's not burning forever. It's out. And I saw a great white throne. Hold on. 13. It says the sea gave up its dead, and the death and the grave gave up their dead. So, and it says, and all were judged according to their deeds. That's showing you it's not dead. They coming back from the dead. So where they gonna burn at? They're coming back from the dead. Then death and the grave were thrown into the lake of fire. This lake of fire is the second death. So it's gonna be huge, man. It's gonna be like a worldwide affecting situation. The world is gonna be affected. The tectonic plates, the geographic location of different places are gonna change, man. This is gonna be a very, very massive, life-changing, world-changing, man. It's like when the flood happened. It changed the world. It changed the face of the world. So the Lord is going to change it again one more time and finalize the planet Earth on how he wants it to look. So we're very, very, this is one of the greatest moments in creation, right? And what we're getting ready to witness. Consider yourselves blessed to be here, but consider yourself even more blessed to know the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and to believe it as it has been given to you. It's not all for all men. What does it say? Not all men have faith. So not everybody will get this. It's only for those that can hear the voice and get themselves right and prepare themselves for the coming and great and notable day of the Lord, man. It says this lake of fire is the second death, and anyone whose name was not found recorded in the book of life was thrown into the lake of fire. And I showed you with all these flammable elements that are located in America on top of the coal mines. This is going to be a very, very large, immense fire that's going to burn at a high temperature, because once the smoke clears, the bombs are just going to be the igniter. That's all you got to know. The bombs are just going to be the ignition for it. Just like in the thermonuclear process, you have to have an ignition to ignite the plutonium and to explode that, and it causes a chain reaction. And it keeps blowing up and it's a chain reaction. If you watch the movie Oppenheimer, you'll see the breaking down of how the thermonuclear weapons work. Okay, so we in that time, man. Okay, and then let's pull up. Let's see what precepts they got. This is 1 Corinthians 15 and 54 to 55. NLT says, then when our dying bodies have been transformed into bodies that will never die, that's the changing. So that's what those that are on the landmass of America will be changed, that the elect will be changed in the twinkling of an eye into new bodies that cannot die. Our spirits are going to be transferred from these current bodies, and they're going to be put into bodies of that with fleshly hearts. We have stony hearts now. What does the stony hearts represent? It means that we cannot do the law to the perfection. That's why we're not saved by the law. That's what the breaking of the law brings death. If there's no more breaking of the law, death has no place. That's why it says, where is thy sting, death? Because if we're doing the law perfectly and we've been received by Yahushua's sacrifice, then we're going to receive those changes of bodies and we're going to be immortal. Immortality, that's when it's going to come in. And it says, verse 55, 1 Corinthians 15 and 55, O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting? So it's not, death is going to flee away from us, man. Death is, we're going to see death like, hey, shalom. Death is going to go to these other nations. They're going to, because there's going to be people that aren't changed. Israelites, they're going to have to go into death, come back, and then come back through the seed line. Ergo, they're going to receive the promises of immortality through the bloodline, through the genealogy of the elect. The 144,000 and the 1/3 out of each tribe. So whatever tribe you are at, you will eventually get to immortality once you come back through that bloodline and that seed line. then you're gonna you're gonna come into the earth through the genes of the elect man and women, and then you're gonna receive that through the elect man. The seed line goes through the man. So once the man has that child is gonna have the same attributes as the father. Okay, and if the father is immortal, the child will be immortal. Okay, going back to the Genesis where it says that when the sons of God entered the sons of men, they bear forth giants, no men of renown, because they had the same attributes as their fathers did, not the mother, the father. Okay, that's where the promise comes from. That's where the power is coming from. Same thing with inheritance. It comes through the father's line. All right. So let's keep going back. This is let's pull some of these precepts. This is Isaiah 34 and verse 10. And it says, NLT, this judgment on Edom will never end. The smoke of its burning will rise forever. So the judgment of Edom is talking about the landmass and Esau himself. Not talking about some mystical place, some hell, because it's going to be judged on the planet Earth, just like nations were judged. Sodom was judged. It says the smoke of its burning will rise forever. The land will lie deserted from generation to generation. And I just showed you that the coal mines here, the plutonium in the nuclear reactors, the gas stations, underground pipelines, fracking, okay, chemical hazardous chemicals, garbage dumps. There's a garbage dump in each part of America, and those are flammable. They have to have pipes. They have to have exhaust pipes just to even keep it from igniting, man. So this place is a powder keg, literally a powder keg. Okay? And it says the judgment of Edom will never end. The smoke of its burning will rise forever. The land will lie deserted from generation to generation. No one will live there anymore. Okay? And you're seeing the reason why. All the elements I just mentioned to you. Okay? And this is Isaiah 13 and verse 19. It says, Babylon, that's what's talking about the lake of fire, the judgment. Babylon, the most glorious of kingdoms, the flower of the Chaldeans' pride, will be devastated like Sodom and Gomorrah when Yahweh destroyed them. Because how did he destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? Fire, sulfur to be specific. And sulfur burns out on itself. The scary thing about sulfur, it once it gets on you, it spreads. You can't put it out. You can only try to smother it, and even then, it has to burn out on its own. So that's a dangerous thing that the Lord let off on Sodom and Gomorrah, and it's gonna happen again. We living in that time now. All right. So the main point is hit. I just wanted to bring that out. The longest burning fire in America has been burning for about 50 to 60 years. And they said it's projected to burn for 250 years, but it's gonna have help. It's gonna have a company to help it burn. All right. So the time we at now is very critical moments, and for those that are listening, that are really taking this thing in, it's for you. But those that bucking up against it, you rebelling, go ahead and do your thing, man. Go ahead and do your thing. You only got a short time to do it in. But like it says, everything is going to come to a head. We're praying and hoping that Yahweh Shem Yahshua has mercy on us and gives us that glory of being delivered and being the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven that belongs to Yahweh Shai, to be joined into that wedding, okay, the wedding of the Lamb. All right, so with that, I say, call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Machak Wadash. Until the next time, I say shalom, and more, and I never keep faith. Shalom.